Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jennifer Benjamin with the Philadelphia Child and Family Therapy Training Center. It's so good to be here today. We have one of our nominees for the inaugural Marion Lindblad-Goldberg Award. So excited! We have Julie McNeil, and I have to say, somebody beat me to the nomination. I just want to put that out there that if it wasn't going to be somebody else, I was putting Julie's name in the ring. So we are so grateful that, Julie, you're giving us some time this morning, and we'd love to hear from you. I know that you were very surprised about the nomination, of course. So I wanted to start out with, can you talk about what does it mean for you to be recognized by your peers as having the same passion and commitment and really following in the legacy of Marion Lindblad-Goldberg, the founder of ecosystemic structural family therapy?
Yeah, absolutely, Jen. I think for myself, it was very surprising, like you said, but a huge honor for myself because I'm one that tends to kind of sit on the back seat and not always put myself up front. So kind of understanding and seeing that my coworkers and people in our cohort kind of see that passion and that commitment. Even if I'm being quiet, they kind of see it in my work. And I think that I've always been, since I was a little girl, having this passion to help people and to be there to help people, whether it be friends, family, someone off the street. I've always kind of wanted to be there to help them. So being honored by my peers has been such an honor, and I can't even begin to describe what it means to me.
So tell me, and everybody watching, right, what sustains you and inspires you in the systemic work? Because it's not easy.
No. And there's, no day is easy at this job. Every day is different. But what makes me continue to utilize this work and really believe in this work is seeing the family utilize the model, and seeing the small changes. Families may think that sitting together at dinner isn't a progress, but for us and our model, that is something that just a small, simple change can make the world of a difference. And to see families accept that, acknowledge that, and utilize that, and anchoring that when we're done our 8 months is just incredible and continues to make me want to work with this model, learn more, learn different techniques within the model and how I can better support my families, the community, and even my coworkers, and how I can support them moving forward with some of their challenging families and cases, and to never give hope, to never lose hope that our work doesn't work. And it's important to understand that the family has to put in the effort too. And if they utilize the model, there's high success.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about what you were describing at the dinner table. You make it okay for effort to fuel hope, where a lot of times prior to people working with a systemic family therapist, they feel this pressure to look at everything as a moral infraction. Like everything their kid does, they have to list and shame and punish. And instead, you give them this alternative, like this reframe, right? This way to look at the problem as relational. And then you figure out that they can solve it, and they hear you and they buy into it.
Yep, absolutely.
How has the adversity and challenges you face contributed to your growth and development? Like what do you think has been like your biggest piece of growth working as a systemic family therapist? Because you and I both know the secret to building expertise in systemic family therapy is your own growth and development.
Yep. I think for me, there's been 3 major changing points. I think the first one is being split from my original partner and having to go outside of that and learn the challenges with being alone in a systemic model and in a team. when you're supposed to be, and kind of having to take forth that leadership and that role. So that was my first challenge that I think helped me with my growth, and being confident in challenging or promoting change in the home by myself. The second thing I would say is when my razzle dazzle doesn't work and having to remain silent in the uncomfortable situations because my razzle dazzle doesn't work. And I think that's been a huge challenge for me because I'm not good with silence. So I always try to, you know, at times put more forth the effort than the families. So that's been a major thing of like learning how to help these families without my razzle dazzle and the importance of that. And then the third thing was losing my mom 2 years ago. That kind of really put a different outlook on life for me. And especially working with the families, there are times where I get really triggered by clients and how they treat their parents. But I'm able to use my own life experiences and put it in perspective for these kids to be like, oh my gosh, you're right. My parent couldn't be here. Like, they might not be here tomorrow, and this is how I'm going to end it. So I think that as much as it was a barrier for me to talk about it with my families, it was also a way for me to join with these kids of like, I've been where you are. I know what it's like to feel what you're feeling. But think down the road when you're my age or even your age, what does that look like for you? So I think between the three, it kind of helped me work on feeling my confidence and feeling more comfortable in the homes, and also working on comfortability in silence and helping the family sit in that silence, and that it's okay to remain in silence. Sometimes you don't have to say anything to express how you're feeling.
Yeah. So everybody who's watching, what you're witnessing is ESFT really promotes that each therapist has the ability to disrupt dislocation and develop belonging for the family and the community by elevating the caregivers. And what you're hearing is that Julie understands this concept that she doesn't have to be Steve Sims or Pinky Patel. She just has to be Julie and, you know, be authentic, understand how her lived experiences inform her emotions. So when she's sitting with these families, she helps them turn to and look at their lived experiences and how it's informing them. So it's really the great thing about this model is that if you're a human with emotions and you're willing to work on your own growth and development, you can be really good at systemic family therapy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we say goodbye to our viewers?
I think I also want to say the importance of continuing to learn. I know that throughout the trainings that I've done through the Philadelphia Training Center, they've been extremely helpful, especially when you take part in the trainings, because that also helped my growth edge of feeling more confident and more comfortable with speaking up. If I can speak up in front of 60 people, I can speak up in a family of 2. So it's really helped me learn about myself, about the model, about the world, everything in life. And I really am grateful for this experience and being able to be a part of the Philadelphia Training Center.
Rachel, I'm just so glad that you could join as well. And I wanted to hear from you. I know that you are Julie's supervisor. Can you just share a little bit about what you appreciate about Julie?
I appreciate Julie so much, and I appreciate that she always has a desire to learn and lean in to those around her in the office, in her ecosystem, and with the families that she works with. She's often open to guidance and direction, and her willingness to enact change in herself for the betterment of the families is something I always appreciate. Yeah.
So what have you seen Julie do when adversity hits, you know, the emotions are big and, you know, crisis is happening for the family? Like, well, how have you seen Julie handle that?
Julie is very much able to stay slow in the face of the pressure when that occurs. She has been proven to, she's observed not allowing the family's intensity to affect her direction and treatment or in that moment. And she really worked on that in her final year before her graduation.
Jerome, we have a trainer here as well for the Allentown cohort. And Jerome, I know neither you or I were surprised that Julie was nominated. And in fact, we were like, well, she better have been nominated, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about what it's been like for you to see Julie's development and to work as her trainer?
Yeah, with Julie, there's just this genuineness about Julie, that's very captivating. You know, when she's in the training room, you can tell that she's there. She's eager to learn. She's eager to lead. You know, whenever I call on her and say, "Hey, could you do this breakout room?" She's always willing to take leadership, and that's what I think is really admirable about Julie. She just dives right in.
We have Lisa here, who is partners with Julie. Lisa, why do you think Julie was nominated for the Marion Lindblad-Goldberg Award?
I have worked with Julie for over 3 years, and she has been my partner pretty much the whole time, minus, 8 or 9 months, which was torture. And from the time we started till now, she has grown so much. Like, I just love working with her. We just mesh well, and we bounce ideas off each other. I've seen her even in our clinicals. She just always has the right things to say and always is just smooth.
So what do you appreciate about her as a systemic family therapist?
I appreciate that when our individuals or our team supervisions, they give us, our supervisor gives lots of feedback, and she always works to improve. She always is moving forward. She always takes criticism with positivity and turns it into something that she needs to work and do better. She never takes it as a negative. And she always has something positive to say. She's very empathetic towards families, towards everybody. She's always willing to help everybody, never turns anyone down when they need help. And she helps me out so much. I'm just happy to be her partner. Congratulations, Julie. I love you. So proud of you.
So everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. And yep, Julie's one of our nominees. You can see now why. And, continue to check us out on our socials. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the blog. All right, bye everyone.
Thank you.
No, no, no.